Hello there guys, and welcome back to Reborn with Michael Watson. Today I want to talk about a subject now that just makes so much sense to me, taken from a long forgotten Neville Goddard question and answer, and I just want to explain it so clearly to you how to create reality right now. Before I go into that, please do like, share and subscribe. Also comment on the video down below if you find it helpful. That would be really wonderful. Also, please join my free Facebook group, The Healing Circle, where I add more content and help as much as possible to all of my members. We're growing and we're becoming mighty in there. So that's linked in the description. So let's get into this. So there was this wonderful moment in a long forgotten Neville Goddard question and answer where someone was saying that, Neville Goddard was preaching out that everything that you want is already created. All creation is done. When God created the heavens and the earth, he said it was good and very good. Everything was done. He rested on the seventh day. There was no need for him to do any more. Everything was already created. What this sort of gets the concept in our mind then is that, okay, everything I've ever could want or do is already done. So now, what does that mean for me? Does that mean that I'm destined to something? Or how do I create around that? One of the questions that come up was like, well, if everything's already created and done, how do I then change my reality? Because it's already created, isn't it? And this was the beauty of that concept. So let's talk about it. He said it is the self-imagery, the imagery of the self, of who you are, that then informs reality of how to express in its new form. And then Neville Goddard went on to explain it in further detail. If you took a play and you rearranged the words to make a different play, you've not made any new words. You've not added or taken away. You've just rearranged those words in a different order. So that thing that was already created, you haven't changed the creation. You've just rearranged that creation. And this is what I really want the concept of everything that we're trying to come to terms with for us to understand. Stop thinking that you have to do anything. When I say that, it is not meant to take away from the act of intention or the act of stepping into life, walking forward. But you do not really have to do anything in the essence of creation, because it's already created by the divine essence of God. Your wonderful life is already there for you. What you have to do is change your self-image, your state of being, to one of accepting. Now this is the key here. It's not about a high-stake emotion all the time. It's about accepting as fact that which you want. So put it this way, right? One of my concepts is that I want to change as many lives as possible, right? So when I started the YouTube channel and started to speak about these concepts, I'm not hitting 100, a million views a video. So in that point then you could start to go, now it's time to give up, because actually I've been going for ages. I'm not reaching 1 million views a video. I'm not changing the world. Or you can create that infinite feeling of patience, because I know that it is done. All you need to do is watch this space, because I will be there. I will help millions of people. That is my mission, and that is the mission that I know is already done. When and how now doesn't really concern me. It shouldn't concern you on your journey now. You make a decision. Okay, that you are going to live in this way. That is going to be your truth. So say, for example, now you're earning $1,500 a month or something, and you're like, now I want to be earning $25,000 a month. That's a big jump in earnings, right? So you're going to think, well, I'm going to have to do something massive to do that. Well, actually, what we need to do is start to break down the concept of needing to know so clearly what we have to do. Actually, what you need to do is understand the feeling of who and what you would be if you were making that much money, or having that success in your life? How would you be? How would you act? That's what I want to ask you. What would you be like? So for example, right, I'm someone who's earned good money and had nothing, right? In the time when I was fearful, when I had nothing, I wasn't very quick to help people because I felt like I needed to help myself. Do you see what I mean? So one of my aspects of being a very successful person is I've become very helpful. I go out of my way to help with no regard to how I get something back in return. So that's one of the ways I would act and be. So I act that way now. I do that now. I give a lot without expecting a return. Do you see what I mean? So it's like, here's what we need to do. We need to know who we're going to be. So let's just say, for example, you had all the health, all the finances, all the love you could ever want. How are you going to be? You're going to be free. You're going to be effortless, easy, natural, flowing. All of these things are going to just happen for you. You're just going to live in that way. Now, reality is very enticing. It's very seductive, right? But actually what you need to do is let go of the idea of what reality is saying to you right now, okay? And bring yourself back to the idea of, I am now loving, peaceful, free and harmonious. So I'm just going to live in that space because I need to live boldly. Boldly with a knowing that everything I could ever want or be is already done. Do you get me? Do you see where I'm coming from? So I'm going to live in that bold assumption because I believe faith will grow in you as you live in that space. It's uncomfortable because you're going, well, life is saying this. Don't worry about what life is saying. Go through the discomfort of living in that space. Go through that discomfort. Just continue to live in that space without regard of what's happening around you. Yeah? So this is what you've got to do. This is what you've got to do. This is the answer. So how are you going to now place that forward in your day-to-day life? How can you live in that end result, regardless of your health, regardless of your financial situation, regardless of anything? Start to find space for peace, harmony, acceptance, knowing. These are the words that we need to make the most powerful in our lives. Let go of the feeling of gratitude. Let go of the, because I just noticed with my clients, we force it. Get out of any level of feeling like you have to add energy to the omnipotent. It is infinite. You do not add anything to it. You gently, effortlessly align with its harmony, right? It's a harmonious state of being. It only knows the answer. It only knows balance. So we need to gently just start to release. It's actually by letting go of all the rubbish that we start to harmonize with life, and life will reflect it. So say these sentences if it feels good to you, but isn't it wonderful, as Neville Goddard would say, or thank you, thank you, thank you for my wonderful, good, beautiful life. Isn't it wonderful how successful I am? Isn't it wonderful how healthy I am? Imagine, there's many ways you can get there, okay? But this is one way that I want you to remember. Have a wonderful day, and I hope this video was helpful. I'll see you at the next one. Take care.